Today we are going to talk about what is an Ommer block. It's possible for two blocks to be created simultaneously by a network. When this happens, one block will be left out. This leftover block is called an Ommer block. In the past, they were called uncle blocks, referring to the familial relationships used to describe block positions with a blockchain. Ommer blocks are created in the Ethereum blockchain when two blocks are created and submitted to the ledger at roughly the same time. Only one can enter the ledger. Ommer blocks are similar to Bitcoin orphans but have an integrated use. Unlike their Bitcoin counterparts, Ethereum miners or validators are rewarded for creating Ommer blocks in the Ethereum system through transaction fees to pay for their work. Understanding Ommer blocks. In a public blockchain like Ethereum and Bitcoin, it's essential to use a method that ensures data within the blockchain is verified and added by consensus. It's equally important to keep data from being changed. Many blockchains uses a data source called a miracle tree to accomplish this. A miracle tree establishes ancestral relationships for blocks of data. Information from previous blocks is included in new blocks. Similar to DNA passed on between generations, this creates a concept of a parent, sibling, child, and sibling blocks familiar to a graphical representation of a family tree. Here is how it works. The first block in a tree could be named block A. The next block created from block A would be considered block A's child and would be include A's information plus its own. Ethereum is transitioning from proof of work to proof of stake consensus. Under the proof of stake consensus mechanism, Ommer blocks may still be produced and have transaction fees rewarded. This block could be called block B but could be represented as B. B is the name of the new block and A refers to the data from the parent block. This parent-child relationship continues as more blocks are added within the information from each previous block. This creates a family tree and blockchain. Now consider if two blocks were validated and created simultaneously from B. They are blocks CAB and CAB2. Siblings blocks from the same parent block, only one can be added to the blockchain. So the network chooses CAB and CAB2 is a fork of the original blockchain but is not added to it or validated. Finally, another block is mined on the blockchain that kept CAB. This is block DCAB. CAB2 is the sibling of DCAB's parent, so CAB2 is an Ommer block. Special considerations. These orphan blocks were in essence bugs in the code, unintended and accidental byproducts of the mining process. However, Ethereum incentivized Ommer block miners for several reasons. To allow for creating more Ommer blocks as a byproduct of a shorter block times and speed up the network. To decrease the centralization of incentives of large mining pools, these pools employ large mining farms and claim the majority of the cryptocurrency rewards, leaving little for individual miners to increase the network security by supplementing the work on the main blockchain by allowing the work done on Ommer blocks to be included. Ommer blocks are purposely incorporated into Ethereum's blockchain using its consensus mechanisms validation protocol. Casper friendly ghost, greedy heaviest object sub tree. When a blockchain fork occurs from simultaneously created blocks, a two-third consensus rule from network validators select which block is used, as you can see in the flowchart. Now, what is an Ommer Uncle block? When uh, Uncle block is the old name for an Ommer block, developers and Ethereum community decided that there was no reason to give gender specific names, so they decided to on Ommer as the new name. What is Ethereum's Ommer Uncle rate? The Ommer rate, previously the Uncle rate, is the rate at which the network produces Ommer blocks. The rate changes daily and depends on the number of transactions occurring. What is Ethereum's Ommer Uncle reward? Under the proof of work consensus mechanism, rewards from Ommer blocks were a small percentage of the block rewarded plus transaction fees. When Ethereum transitions to proof of stake, Ommer blocks will receive transactions fees. Investing in cryptocurrencies and other initial coin offerings ICOs is highly risky and speculative, and this article is not a recommendation by Investopedia or the writer to invest in cryptocurrencies or other ICOs, since each of individual situation is unique. A qualified professional should always be consulted before making any financial decisions. Investopedia makes no representations or warranties as to the accuracy and timeliness of the information contained herein. As of the date this article was written, the author does not own cryptocurrency. What is a stale block? A stale block is what most people are referring to when they talk about a block rejected by the blockchain network. What's a Bitcoin block? A block in a place in a blockchain where information is stored and encrypted. Blocks are identified by long numbers that include encrypted transactions informations from previous blocks and new transactions information. Blocks and the information within them must be verified by a network before new blocks can be created. How long does it take to mine one Bitcoin? The average time for generating one Bitcoin is about 10 minutes. But this applies only to powerful machines. The speed of mining depends on the type of Bitcoin mining hardware you are using. What a Bitcoin block looks like. The block is made up of a header containing metadata followed by a long list of transactions that make up the bulk of its size. The block header is 80 bytes, where the average transaction is at least 250 bytes, and the average block contains more than 50 transactions. How do you read Bitcoin blocks? Most Bitcoin data will be represented in alphanumeric strings with identified prefixes. Addresses begin with 1, 3, or BC1 blocks. Hashes begin with many zeros. Transactions IDs are 64 characters long, but they have no identified prefixes. Can you mine Bitcoin at home? For starters, there aren't enough for us with a powerful computer to do so, because this cryptocurrency is not valuable or profitable at home. To be able to mine, you need hardware that will cost you thousands of euros. There are the ASICs or integrated circuit of the specific applications. So this is it for today, guys, for what is an Ommer block. I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.